I don't know what I'm doing because none of us do.
No one,
And
yes. I'm
none of us
learning
do.
that. Everyone keeps reminding me, like, Darlene, or that. I'm like, you're right. You're right.
No one knows what they're doing. That is the thing that, because like you see so many people like, these are I always say this, I'm like, these are the 10 tips on how to blah, blah, blah. Like in business, I'm like, oh my God, like not everybody is templated. Like we don't live that way. It's not
Yes.
a thing.
Yes. Yeah, it might work for one person, but not the next. So
Yeah.
I think it's hard, like in terms of seeing those 10, like the top 10 or the must-haves or yada yada. It's like, am I feeling like I'm not doing the right things? It's like, no, you need to cut the
100%.
noise. Even with parenting too, you just have to
Hmm.
cut the noise. Like we are inundated with so much.
It's like, what are you feeling? Because like we all have that like GPS, the internal GPS system, and it's like a lot of us ignore it, right? And so
Yep.
I am finally getting to the point where I'm like, what feels right? What feels
Yes.
good? I'm
Yeah.
gonna go towards that. What doesn't feel right? I'm gonna stop giving that
Stop and
energy.
stop and say no too.
Welcome to Graphic Content, the podcast where we talk all things who, why, and the what the fuck moments along the way. Today's guest is the inspiring founder and heart behind the Daisy Club. With over 15 years of experience supporting individuals in hospitals, community programs, private practice, and adaptive fitness settings, she has dedicated her career to empowering women of all abilities through movement and connection. As a certified fitness instructor and adaptive movement advocate, she's built a vibrant, inclusive space, both virtual and in person, where women can explore dance, wellness, and friendship, no matter their mobility. Welcome to Graphic Content, Darlene Espinosa.
Thank you so much. That was my heart is smiling, and that's something I say very often when I really felt it. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, Gio.
Oh my God, you're so welcome. Like I was saying before we started recording, I was like, thank you for being my no one fan because I feel the love from you online. So I very much appreciate your support. And I knew that I had to have you once you started posting about your new venture.
Thank you. No, and I honestly love what's going on with your stuff too. Just I have to, the likes goes a long way, and it keeps us going. So
Hmm.
thanks again. Let's do it.
Yeah. We met in university
Yeah, so we're talking back
almost
early
20
20s.
years.
Yeah, no, almost
I think
20
it's been
years.
almost 20 years. Yeah.
Almost 20 years. And met through a dear friend of yours and mine.
Hmm.
And since then, I'm just thinking back to those days, and it was TMU, Toronto Metropolitan University, but Ryerson at the time. And
Hmm.
it was a different life then.
But we still look the same.
Yeah.
Like not for anything, but we look the same.
I think
I'm
my eyebrows.
obsessed.
I think my eyebrows were thinner though, so I'm glad that they filled that. Luckily, I was able to gain my eyebrows back.
Hmm. You didn't go through that like the like Gen X where they overplucked and now they're kind of having to
No,
deal with that.
my both of my kids have my eyebrows, and I'm like, you should be happy because we could do a
Hmm.
lot with them.
Honestly, I feel the same. I look back and I'm like, my eyebrows sometimes were like super thin. I'm
Yes,
like, what was I
yes.
thinking? Like, I don't know
I
was what was
I
going on
remember
there.
going to Trade Secrets at Eden Center, and like it was just like basement down there, and just rip it off of me, and it just felt like the right thing to do, but no longer.
You're literally always looking surprised. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So how have you been? Like how's your life been? Now you're a mother. That is wild to
Yes.
me.
I like to say to many people that I am permanently tired and happy. But like
Relatable.
just tired, but it's just energetically tired, just like
Mm.
lack of sleep tired. It definitely takes a lot out of you, and they're quite
Mhm.
young. So I have a 18-month-old, so just a 1.5-year-old boy and a 3.5-year-old little girl at home with me. It's nonstop.
Yeah.
However, I'm happy because this is something that I've always wanted. So definitely motherhood and the Daisy Club amongst other
Hmm.
stuff in between, of course.
I will say, I feel like a lot of moms will preface I'm tired, but I am happy. I love it. And I want to say like those two things can exist
Yes.
simultaneously. And I want to say to women, I'm like, you can also like not be 100% in love with your day to day. Like it's okay to say that.
Yes. And I feel like in this generation, we're feeling more empowered too and not
Hmm.
show up and be like, everything's great. We're doing awesome. No,
Yeah.
we're sleeping through the night and all
Yeah.
those lovely questions you get asked all the time. And
Yeah.
just don't ask, are they sleeping through the night? Don't ask those questions because like chances are the little ones are not sleeping throughout the night and it's a bit triggering because the
Yeah.
next person that might be happening, which is good for them. But yeah, all those things, all the emotions could coincide. And teaching Inside Out, the movie Inside Out, I think is like a
Mm.
really cool representation of that, of we are feeling all the feels all the time, and so are they.
Hmm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and I find myself, and you listen, like I'm not a woman. I come from a different perspective, but
Yeah.
for me, when I, especially because a lot of our friends, a lot of people our age, they're moms. Like
Yeah.
the women are moms, and I always tend to just ask like, "How are you?"
Yes.
Like sure, the kids are great. I see you've kept them alive. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? But like when it comes to you, I'm like, how are you, lady? Like, what's going on with you? Like, I'm more interested in like your journey throughout this whole thing versus like the kids. Clearly, they're fine. They're running around. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I appreciate that too, because I'm sure when you're asking that, they're kind of
Hmm.
like, wait, how am I? Like,
Yeah.
you kind of forget to even ask yourself, how are
Yeah.
you doing? I'm trying to be as present as possible to continue to check in with myself. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Like, something's out of alignment here. What do I need to do? How do I
Yeah.
communicate with my partner? How do I communicate with my kids too? Like, mommy needs some space right now. And
Yeah.
as blunt as that is, then they're giving me the opportunity to by saying, "Mommy, I need my space." I'm like, "Cool, you go have your space
You
because
got it.
it's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good. We don't have to,
Yeah.
be each other's aura all the time, even though it is. We are always together."
I mean, yeah, like what are you gonna do, right? Like that's especially in those early formative years, you are always gonna be
Formative.
glued to those kids. They're not gonna leave your
Hmm.
side.
We're in it. And that 0 to 3 is so pivotal. And even
Hmm.
they say 0 to 3, then adolescence, and in terms of brain changes and that neuroplasticity within your brain, and when you become a parent. So everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
mommy brain, and they laugh it off. It's like, no, like daddy brain and mommy brain, that is a thing because now you have these beings that you have survival, right? So
Yeah.
you're not thinking about what you ate the day before or what's
Or
on your
20 minutes
to-do
ago.
list, or 20 minutes ago. You're thinking about like, is this kid's gonna survive? So no matter what,
Yeah.
like that's why you're so foggy and whatnot. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago, but there's still me there,
She's
but
still there, don't
yeah,
worry. That's
yeah, yeah.
Sam Walker, who is our mutual friend,
Yes.
of the art
Yes.
lab. We talk about this. Like, I said to her, I'm like, I love the fact that you have still maintained who you are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you are still that same. Yes, you're a mother and you have other priorities. Like, that is normal and expected. But you are still at the core. You haven't just become like, I'm a mommy. You know what I mean? Like that.
Exactly.
Like, I'm still like, even you, like, I saw you're like posting about pride, and I'm like, you're still out there doing you, which I have
Yes.
so much respect for because
Thank
that's
you.
tough. That is very
Yes.
tough to have children, devote your life to them, but then also like say I have to carve out space for me because I'm also
Yes.
human underneath this title of mom, you know?
Totally, totally. And think even before, once I got pregnant, I knew in terms of wanting to have that village,
Hmm.
right? Knowing that I'm not supposed to be here doing it by myself, right?
Oh
And
no.
that was like in terms of my upbringing too. It's like we all need to be doing it together. And it's a service to my kids as well. Like you go hang out with your Omi and your grandpa or your abuelo, and
Hmm.
Papi and I are gonna go to Pride.
Yeah, I love it.
We're gonna go see our chosen family that we haven't seen. So yeah, can't be partying every weekend anymore, but
Well, no.
those pivotal moments of like, okay, it's coming up, then they mean so much more now these
Hmm.
days. Yeah.
You're talking about the early stages of your family
Yeah,
and upbringing of your children. So I want to go a little bit back to your upbringing,
absolutely.
and I want you to talk a little bit about how being in tune to people's energy, because you mentioning, even just saying, being present. I noticed that even in like the intake form, like your how you write, even though brief, you speak how I speak. And so I was like, okay, I love that even 20 years later, we're still on the same page, even though we've kind of gone our
Yeah,
separate ways.
yeah.
But I would love you to talk a little bit about your upbringing and, tuning into people's energy as a child and how that shaped you to who you are today.
It's always nice to be able to like step back and go back in time.
Mhm.
I wish I had more memories though. Like I feel like, oh, like our also mutual friend Nina too, like
Yes.
her
Shout out
memory
to
when it
Nina.
comes, shout out to Nina and her memory. It's just like impeccable. But one thing, a bunch of things. So I'm first generation Canadian. So my both of
Yeah.
my yes, both of my parents are from the lovely, beautiful island of Cuba, and they actually met here in Toronto. So they didn't like leave, escape Cuba, and then come together. So that was like
Mm.
people are like, really fully Cuban? Like that's strange because there's not many Cubans here to begin with. They're all in Miami.
I was gonna say
Um,
they're all in Miami.
they're all in Miami. So yeah, had my grandmother, had my aunts present, had everybody present in terms of my upbringing. So really just knowing that everyone taking care of each other was a really huge piece of my upbringing. So very fond memories. It's funny, I had some craft dinner before hopping on with you, and I'm like, I remember my grandmother, we call her Bita, would be
Mhm.
making craft dinner with hot dogs and like coming home from school, and I felt well taken care of, right?
I love it.
But also like energetically, I always felt very heavily like empathetic, not knowing
Mhm.
like what was this feeling, and then also being, raised and hearing like, oh, you're so sensitive, you're too sensitive. And that was seen as a bad thing.
Mhm.
My whole life, I always felt like your sensitivity needs to be just shun away. And I feel like sometimes I probably,
Dial it down.
yeah, I shut it down, which I really shouldn't have. But no matter what, I could see things a bit differently, and I feel like I still can. And I can see through people in the sense of how much more support they might have needed without even them saying it out loud to me. But yeah, I would say like just having everybody, the playing field, the family together really supported like where I am now with my family, but also just everything that I've built and I'm building with the Daisy Club.
I was like a sensitive child. I really
Mm.
felt a lot. I still feel to this day. I feel that a lot. How did you get through the to where you are today, where you can kind of own it more than you did as a younger person, even with the external voices saying like, Shh, like you're fine, like you're too sensitive.
I think just the aha moments of like, oh, what was the sensitivity? I think growing up it was a sensitivity of, you're crying, you're doing this, what is it? Again, seen as a bad thing, and really tapping in of like, oh, my sensitivities because I could feel the other person. I know something seems a bit off or seems really good too. So
Hmm.
when I was able to like really empower that, and then just through my own journeys of like, like my meditation, really getting into like, I remember just like getting to Jay Shetty and understanding like, oh my gosh, is this just this other world that
Yes.
I've just decided not to really, like I blocked out for the longest time, and like getting into deeper Darlene allowed me to be like, not, I'm learning to not to observe it, but not absorb it. That's the biggest thing, especially as a projector, human design
Hmm.
a projector. We
Yes.
absorb, but I need to learn to observe and not absorb, which is so hard. But the more I talk about it, the more, you just really want to start
Uh-huh.
embodying it. Yeah. I need to
Girl,
have
it
that
is.
tattooed across my, no, maybe on my arm so then I can see it. If it was on my forehead.
Yeah.
Maybe across
No,
my arm. Yeah.
I feel you 100,000,000,000% because I am very much I don't know how this podcast is not about my personal life, but I will say
Go
that,
for it,
we go
please.
through things, and I'm at a stage now where I feel like I'm evolving. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we're 37, like
Yeah.
we're not children anymore.
Yep. Yep.
And so we look so, and
Just
honestly, it's actually crazy. Like, you look the same. Like, I'm sorry to like bring it back, but like you literally haven't aged a bit. It's wild. I need your secrets.
there's not much.
But you're lucky then. But
We just keep moving, right? But we'll get
yeah,
into that.
yes, 100%. But no, like you know, I feel like I'm evolving I'm in a phase of my life where I feel like a lot of the things that I have picked up over the years, like you know, these realizations, this like new way of thinking, I'm going through something where I feel like it's being put to the test, where it's saying
Ah,
like the world or the universe is saying like, okay, you talked a big game, or you talk a big game about like having learned so much. Now it's the time to like apply it. And
applying
my
it.
God, it is difficult. It is
Yes.
very difficult
Yep.
because you have to show up for yourself, and
Yeah.
it's not the easiest thing.
That's true. It's a lot of learnings. Even with my partner and I, we could be like listening to podcasts, read our audiobooks. Okay, now we need to apply it. Like the
Yeah,
more that's really what it is, and that's just essentially the school of life, right?
girl. And no one's really like holding your hand. That's the thing. It's like
No.
if you want to, you know, it's I always say this to like to sum it up. It's like I was tired of my own bull. Like you're like I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And so like what am I gonna do about it?
Yes.
Versus just complaining and saying like, oh, my life, you know. And it's like okay,
Yes. So like solution focus, and that's like, okay, I'm hearing it. Now, what are we gonna do about it? So
yeah.
I agree.
And it's hard when you're around people who don't want to do it, but that's a whole other story.
That's. I'll hop on the podcast, another podcast, and we can talk about
We'll do a sidecar podcast. So I want to go back a little bit again.
that.
So you've been working now for over 15 years within the disability community. You've been
Yes.
working with people in that world.
Yes.
So you started out when I met you, you were in early childhood education.
Yes.
And you've also done roles as like a therapy assistant,
Yeah.
physiotherapy assistant.
Yeah.
And now you're a fitness instructor.
Yes.
Like what first drew you to helping others, and what's kept you so passionate for all these years?
It's funny to hear. It just, you just wear so many hats, but in the end, I'm Darlene, but so many ventures, and I feel like everything is just plays a role. All right. Like I think everything's very relatable, even though I was like,
100%.
oh, I did go this route, but this route. So to really sum it up, as a child, I was always known, and what I can even remember just being in elementary school and just really noticing, like I mentioned, who needed a little bit more extra support. I feel like back then in the 90s, talking about diagnosis, talking about special, well, depending on where you're at, but like special needs or disability diagnosis and whatnot was not talked about. I feel like more in elementary schools now, and children in general, like when they're owning their diagnosis, if they might have a diagnosis of autism. Yes, I'm autistic, or I'm a person with autism, things like that. But growing up, we didn't hear any of that. You might be able to see like an obvious like physical disability, but not necessarily like a cognitive disability or a learning disability. However, I was very in tune with like, okay, if somebody needs a little bit more extra support, I'll help out. Not in the sense of control, but more so like, hey, you good? Like, how can I, help you open up your lunch bag or something like that? And I had an amazing, amazing teacher, elementary school teacher. Shout out to Frank Amato. He is still a dear friend of mine. And
that's so nice.
yes, super, super nice, made a pivotal like moments in my life. And he saw me for who I was. And I was like, oh, there's some cool stuff about me. And I wasn't like a lot of perceived limitations, right? So I was like, I want to be a teacher. So decided to go through the ECE, early child education route, thinking I wanted to teach. Cool thing is about those schoolings is that you get to be put in some placements and really like touch in and see, is this something that I want to do? And I was in a daycare setting, and I was like, no, this is not what I want to do. Somebody else can do and do a really good job, but this is not the setting I want. But I got introduced to occupational therapy. So occupational therapy really is therapists who support people with activities of daily living. So that could be like supporting somebody learn how to brush their teeth, pay their bills, tie their shoes, make their bed. It's a huge umbrella.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is cool. Give me more.
Yeah.
So fourth year, I think we had to find our own placement. So I found a placement at Hull and Blue Review Kids Rehabilitation Hospital, Canada's largest rehabilitation hospital for children. And I was like, this is my jam. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to support. This is who the type of people I want to learn from. And it's those children and those families. And to this day, it's been such a pivotal point in my life that it's over 15 years of it in one way or another, supporting families with disabilities.
Hearing you speak about this, it makes so much sense that that would be something that somebody with your background would want to actually impact people's lives. Because to me, something that we don't even, when you think about rehabilitation, you think like sports injury first thing. You don't think about the fundamentals of getting ready in the morning. Like we take it for granted so much
Totally.
that even hearing you say that, I'm like, how are there not more people in this field like that, or it's not spoken about?
Yeah. And I always like to put Hull and Blue Review on the map because everyone's like, never heard of it. It's like, in a way, it's like, cool, because I'll teach you about it. And I always like to explain it as if, because a lot of people know Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, acute care there. You're taking your kids for emergencies there. You're taking your children if they have surgery, again, anything. And where do they go for rehab, right? They're not, if they're ready for rehab, they're not in acute care anymore, they're moving on. So they come to Hull and Blue Review. Or if you're born with a disability, right? So something like cerebral palsy, something like autism, where are you getting that type of therapy? And that's the place, at least in Toronto.
You started there, when were you? You said in fourth year?
Oh my goodness, yeah. So I was a volunteer, fourth year. That was 2010. Started there 2010 and then started working there at the nursery schools because they had like specialized nursery schools, which is super cool.
And so how was that experience? Like, especially I'm assuming you were interacting with the parents.
Oh my goodness. First, how old was I? I was like 22. Who was I? Like, again, I was like, I'm telling these parents how to do things with their kids. I had to get over that. And I did quickly, right? Because I had the privilege of being with these kids for a few hours without their parents and learn about them, try different strategies, try different games, do circle time, sing to them, and then being able to go to their parents and tell them all these amazing things that their children's doing, like try this out, try that out. But at first it was like, WTF like moment. Like, what am I doing? Why are they going to listen to this 22-year-old? But they did. They truly did. I never felt less than because of my age.
Yeah, and that's the thing, especially if you're bringing forward a sense of progress in their life for their child. Like, why would they ever look at you and say like, no? Like you're bringing like hope and positivity, and of course they're gonna, even regardless of age, it's like, look at this person is helping my child, is helping me.
That was such a dope thing. And that's what still to this day what I'm doing. I get to support and be there for someone in their journey. Again, those perceived limitations, because you may be in a wheelchair, you may be using a walker, just in terms of your fine motor skills, you're like holding a weight. But then we can do all these things. And it's like, yes. And that's what keeps me going for sure.
There was a moment at Hull and Blue Review when a parent encouraged you to do something, you had said.
Yes.
So like, how did that conversation spark the idea that eventually became the Daisy Club?
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about it. At Hull and Blue Review, I got to run basically a fitness group. It was every Saturday morning, and it was for youth and teenagers with neuromotor disorder. So generally like cerebral palsy. So they might, have lower balance, might be using a a rear face walker, not forward facing, but think rear
Mhm.
facing. It's not something that you see very often, or canes. And we would work out. We would move our bodies, we would work out, and I would get to know these family members and kids for years, right? And see them grow up. When you grow up, eventually you have to leave the pediatric system, right? You are
Yeah.
no longer, you're turning 18, 19, somewhere that you felt so comfortable, a place that you felt so comfortable to be yourself and know that you're well supported is no longer of access to you, because that's just how the system works.
Mhm.
And a father, there was, I think, about maybe 3 young women that were aging out of the system. And that was also kind of new to me too. It's like, oh, now I was in a different role too. So I was part of this transition team, knowing that I'm like, what is else out there now for
Yeah.
these young adults and what happens? And he said, Darlene, you need to do something. And I was like, again, now that I think back, Gio, my strategy is invitation as a projector.
Mhm.
That was the most epic invitation ever, because now I am here talking about what the Daisy Club is.
I love it.
And I was pregnant also with my first. So it was during like COVID times, 2021. And I'm like, what can be done?
Mhm.
So I started, after I went on mat leave, knowing that I wanted to like create something and knowing that I had to leave Blue Review in order to create it. I started Move with Dar. That was what it was called. And similar concept what Daisy Club is now, but meeting up weekly, moving our bodies, seated dance choreography, things like that, meeting up in person just to hang out. And that's where really the seed was planted at that program. But now we have rebranded. We're doing all the things, and that's where the Daisy Club has come to fruition, an adaptive fitness community for women.
You're in the early stages still, like, you're only a couple years in, so to go through a rebrand, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
Totally.
I think about, like, I started Geographic, I was a clothing company.
Yeah.
Am I doing that now? No, absolutely not. But, we start somewhere, but at least it's, like, the beginning. Although I will say, with what you're doing, you've been on track. It didn't jump around too much with the offering.
No, 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 it's not. Yes, yes. It wasn't a clothing brand before. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it was one of those like knowing it was, I like to consider it my first baby. And it was just waiting for me to just continue to like nourish it there. It was just like sitting there, like the group of the girls that were still with me were waiting. They're like, okay, she's on maternity leave. She's on maternity leave again. I'm like, we're just going to
Mhm,
stay connected. It's coming back and we're going to go bigger and better. And
mhm.
we have.
So we've been talking about the Daisy Club. So let's discuss like what you are doing. So now that you've
Yeah.
established yourself, like talk to me about the Daisy Club.
Adaptive fitness community, everyone's like, what does that mean, adaptive? With my background in, physiotherapy assisting, occupational therapy assisting, and now as a fitness instructor, I'm able to support people in adapting exercise. So does that mean I have some of my daisies, as I like to call them, the
Oh, I
daisies,
love it.
they're doing most of their exercises in a seated position, right? So, like, think about the core exercises you're doing when you're laying down or when you're standing up, or even just like strength based using weights, adapting it in a chair, which is, talk about creativity. Like, it's been a lot of fun. Like, how can
Mhm,
we really engage your core? How can we really, use weights, like bands, resisted bands, and dance choreography to move your body, because no matter what, you're getting a workout even if you're sitting in a chair. So
mhm.
in those moments, we work out weekly, virtually, live as a group. We chit chat. We do 2 dance choreographies to warm up our bodies, and then we do a circuit and we go through it all. We're throwing those weights in and ending off with a nice stretch at the end, just to calm our nervous system. And it's a safe space. It's female only, to be able to really dive into certain topics that only us women will really
Mhm.
understand and it makes sense to us. Also, our club calls where we tap into women that are doing cool shit and are here
I love
to
that.
teach us and there's a learning capacity to it. So we had Dr. Margot come in, talk everything menstruation, and go through a whole hour of talking the ins and outs about it. Even at 37, I'm still learning so much about that whole cycle we go through.
Mm-hmm.
And our big thing also is our club hang. So we find accessible places within the city, mainly in the city, just in terms of accessibility, because there's something called the TTC Wheel-Trans. So a lot of my daisies use that. So in terms of getting some free travel around the city. So yeah, we go to different restaurants, we go to different events, and have fun together.
You're a woman who's doing cool shit, because just hearing you talk about this and having known you now for like I said, almost 2 decades, it makes so much sense for the energy that you bring to the table to go towards helping others in this way, especially because the impact that you're making, like you're creating community. And that's one of the things that, people talk about so much now, like, oh, fostering community, but it's like, what are we actually doing
Yes.
versus just saying it? And you're actually doing it. You're in
And
the
there's
community.
I'm in it, and you know what? A big thing I came across, and it's like, and they're shaping it with me. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
this is it's our club.
Yes.
Where here I am. I could all the behind the scene things, but it's like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? How do you want to move your body? And let's shape this together. So I think that's a big component too, because I feel like,
Mhm.
yeah, the community word is thrown around quite often, and it's like, are we really showing up for it and doing it not the right way, but are we doing it together and not just this one person telling you how to do things?
Well, it's like grassroots is your approach. It's not necessarily like, oh, hey, we're, throwing money at a cause and then we're going to say we did something, versus like,
Exactly,
let
that
me
checkbox.
actually, exactly. Right.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
what have you had as feedback? Like, how has the reception been so far?
It depends. If it's from the daisies, and even like of a potential new daisy too, hearing that, like letting her know, coming in to do a couple of free demos, and she's like, oh my goodness, there's a space for me that is adaptive. I feel safe. I feel
Hmm.
seen. And she's like, you reach out to places to see if it's accessible. Like, because sometimes, I'll just not go because it might not be for me. And I'm like, so you
Yeah.
just stay home? Yeah. I'm like, okay, we're going to do something about that. Like,
Hmm.
you're coming out with us. Like, we're doing this thing, just to see such bright eyes of like, I can do this and it feels good. And also the lived experience piece between the girls, they got that. I'm sitting back and I'm learning. I'm learning of how we could change the world in terms of accessibility. And the relatability to each other is like, I could see it in their eyes and then their breath of like, like, I'm being seen, and these people are experiencing the same but different things that I'm going through.
Hmm.
And then I have outside people that I'm like connecting with, and everyone's like, wow, like this is, haven't heard of anything like this, right? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what, I'm just created something.
Yeah. You having launched this and seeing it online, I was like, this is so aligned, back to that alignment
Yeah.
piece,
Yeah.
with how I want to live my life and the people I want to talk to and who are doing cool shit. Like, that's
Yes.
literally what the premise of this whole thing is. And so
Totally.
I just love hearing it when people are like, I had this idea. I don't know what I'm doing, because none of us do.
No,
And
yes. I'm
none of us
learning
do.
that. Everyone keeps reminding me, like, Darlene, I'm like, you're right. You're right.
No one knows what they're doing. That is the thing, that because like you see so many people, like, these are the, I always say this, I'm like, these are the, like, the 10 tips on how to blah blah blah, like in business. I'm like, oh my god, like, we, not everybody is templated, like we don't live that way. It's not
Yes.
a thing.
Yes. Yeah. It might work for one person, but not the next. So
Yeah.
I think it's hard, like in terms of seeing those 10, like the top 10 or the must-haves or yada yada. It's like, am I feeling like I'm not doing the right things? It's like, no, you need to cut the
100%.
noise. Even with parenting too, you just have to
Hmm.
cut the noise. Like, we are inundated with so much.
It's like, what are you feeling? What's, because like we all have that like GPS, the internal GPS system, and it's like, a lot of us ignore it, right? And so
Yep.
I am finally getting to the point where I'm like, what feels right? What feels
Yes.
good? I'm
Yeah.
gonna go towards that. What doesn't feel right? I'm gonna stop giving that
Stop and
energy.
stop and say no too, right? Like I think we're so quick of like giving in just because, but it's like, is it connecting? It's like probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, setting boundaries is one of the hardest things to do. I'm, going back to what I said earlier.
Work in progress.
Whip, whip. So I've been curious, like, where did the name come from? Like the Daisy Club. How did that come to be?
It's cute, eh? I know, I know.
It's so cute. I love it.
Very
It's so
cute.
cute.
And the logo's quite cute too.
I love it.
Yeah. So where our best, ideas come is when we're in the washroom, right?
100. I agree.
I know we're not reading the back of our shampoo bottles anymore like we used to. You remember doing that?
Oh my God, literally. I like needed something to look at.
We couldn't read them though because what toxic stuff was in them. Now I think
Oh,
back, I'm like
fully.
that Pantene Pro V. Anyways, TMI, but all good. It was my daughter's towel, had a bunch of daisies on it
Yeah.
with smiley faces, and I'm like, there it is. It was just like literally in front of me. And I was like, the Daisy Club, like a club, like who doesn't want to be part of a club that just keeps you going? You have a crew. Just in terms of like what daisies like represent, like that cheerfulness, that joy, like rebirth, new beginnings. It was just like so fitting. And when you see a garden of daisies just there standing strong, deep rooted in the earth, all so different, but yet like
Yeah.
holding each other up, it just stuck. And the fact that like now like we're daisies just adds such an element. And like I'm not saying my participants or clients like you're here, you're a daisy and we're all
Yes.
daisies together. It was Team Media, this young company that made the logo, and such an awesome crew. So it's the Daisy Club, and it has those like 1970 vibes, which is like I'm very drawn to, definitely
I
past
love it. Yeah.
life stuff. And then it's half of a daisy, and that half of a daisy represents the wheels and the spindles of a wheelchair and walker. And then the inside is like a sunburst because like those daisies need the sun too, and like the growth and whatnot. So that's basically it in a nutshell. And
I love it.
I'm really vibing with it. It has, and then like obviously now you just see daisies everywhere. As soon as it's like you see that one car and you're thinking about buying that car, you see it all the time. Now that's how I feel about daisies because
Yeah.
we're blooming.
I love it. And even the metaphor, the visual of a bunch of flowers in a field, like I think of like in a meadow or something. And if like the wind picks up, all of them are kind of going like they're moving in their own way. They're all dancing in a different way. And so to
Yes,
me, it makes a lot of sense for what you're doing because everyone's path is so different. Everyone is going through life in a different way. And so it kind of lends itself well to that. Like I see some sort of an ad in the future, some sort of marketing
totally. Yeah, oh, I
where
love
that
it.
could be the
Look, give me all the ideas there.
patent pending,
There,
patent
yeah,
pending.
there. Let's go right now.
I'm
Click.
just kidding.
I follow Jenna Zoe. I feel like she's for our time is like the guru with human design too. And she always
Mhm.
starts off with her podcast saying, we are all so different. So why are we thinking that there's only one way to do life?
100%.
Every time I
What's
hear
her
that,
podcast?
it's called Align right now. It's Jenna Zoe.
Is she
And
British?
she's British.
I have
She's
listened to
yeah.
that podcast, yes.
Yeah, she's
Mhm.
deep. Like she's
Yeah.
deep. So it's like when
Mhm.
you can't just listen, like you have to listen. So yes, she
Yeah.
starts off every podcast like that, and it just always that aha. I was like, we don't need to be doing things the same way. Like, come on. This is
Yeah. When did you get into human design? Like what brought you to that?
so a few years ago, it was introduced to me, and then I was like, ooh, this is too much for me to take on. I was really like confused in the terminology and
A lot.
whatnot. It is a lot, you know. And then coming from my mom is, when it comes to astrology, she could read birth charts. She knows like what time are you born, and she's one of those.
Ooh, I
Like
love
growing
it.
up, it was like dating a guy, and she'd be like, what time was he born? I'm like, I'm not telling you because you're gonna say that we're not gonna make it. And she's like, well, you're probably not. I'm like, let me feel the heartbreak. I literally would
Stop
tell her
getting
that to
involved.
stop. Like, you're right all the time. I know. Actually, though, like more deeply, just over the past year,
Mm.
my neighbor, who is also my energy healer, we went for a walk, and she's like, human design. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm a projector. She's like, so am I. And then now she has gone deep into it too, and she's been schooling me, which is great because
Yeah.
what time do I have to school myself as much as I want to? It's just like another element. So ever since then, she's been like teaching me, you know, like good old podcasts and whatnot. And really, it was for me to support child rearing. I'm like, I can't, like, who are my little, I got a little manifester and a manifester generator. And yeah, and they're fresh, right? They're not like, we're all socially conditioned. I got a socially conditioned manifester partner, but I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to look at my son and be like, no, so what are you saying? What are you, what was that?
I'm a manifester.
You're manifest. Ooh.
Emotional.
Emotional. Yeah. Same with all three of them in my house.
Mhm.
They're all emotional. I'm a non-emotional. So I'm like taking it all in even more. My
Mhm.
manifestors. Yeah. So really just understanding my kids, right? Like really understanding them and how to guide them as a projector, but not
Mhm.
overly like, this is what you're supposed to do. Like to really try to step back again,
Yeah.
tie my hands behind my back a bit. And it's been pretty cool, even just from like the snippets that I know.
So how have you used that? Because I know we're kind of going off, but I'm genuinely curious because this is something that is starting to pop up more and more in
Yes, it is.
people's in conversation. Where I heard about this like a couple years ago or maybe last year, and just looked into it and was like, okay, like there's a lot of information, whatever. But then as I'm going through life, I'm like, oh, there are more people who are discussing this and understanding
Yes.
that there's specifics to you the individual on how to live your life. And so how have you found, understanding that you're okay, I'm a projector, but like
Yeah.
what does that mean to you and how do you apply that to your career?
I know exactly what time everyone was born every day. I'm like, what time? What city? I
Hmm.
need specifics. Ask your mother. That has helped me even in terms of like how I'm communicating with each of them.
Hmm.
The best ways to communicate, still like obviously progress and trying to figure that out. But also just for myself and with the Daisy Club, it it was another aha moment, like, oh, I'm here as a projector to like guide and lead, and I see things differently. And no shit, why somebody's not doing what I'm doing. Same but different,
Yeah.
because I'm seeing things differently when it comes down to adaptive fitness and accessibility and that piece. It's just lighting more fire under my bum of like, I'm doing the right thing. Also, learning to step back in those boundaries because I absorb. I have this
Yeah.
open sacral. Like I can just go into a room and really feel. And it's like, okay, got to shut it down as well. And I don't have to overdo it. I'm not here to produce. We
Hmm.
got the generators for that, and they do phenomenal. They're the ones that are probably doing all those amazing reels, doing all the social media stuff that I'm just like, ah. So they do that. So that's where it's kind of like hard for me because I'm like, it's not that I can't. It's just that's not, it doesn't come as natural, and it doesn't have to,
Yeah.
because it's not my
No,
thing. Yeah.
you're allowed to have things that you're like, yeah, I understand that this is something that I can do,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I have my energy can be much better focused in other avenues.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that's how I've been really tapping into it with
Mhm.
yeah, just like business wise. It's more to come, right?
I got the full document. I'm like, it's like 200 plus pages. I have not dug into it as much as I should, but I know
Yeah.
that over the next, little while, I'm like, I really need to start reading it a bit more because there's
But
so
just
much.
even like not the so much, just try even just, what your authority and strategy. I think those type of things really even and your profiles, like those numbers.
Mhm.
And just the blank, because if you go too deep, then it's like, whoa. But if you just have this overall, like you really just tap into it, it'll really, really support you.
I'm gonna
That's what
text you after this and be like, help me.
I'm learning about the manifestors.
Yeah, exactly. You have a better understanding than I do,
Yeah,
probably.
I'm kidding. No, I don't. Manifestors are hard to read, but anyways, that's
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But so you just mentioned accessibility, and I
yes.
want to touch on that a little bit because the Daisy Club is built around like adaptive fitness and
Yeah.
inclusivity. So, like for you, what does true accessibility mean, and why is it so central to building real community?
The disability community as a whole in the world is the largest minority group in the world. And it's a population that you and I or the next person could be a part of in our lifetime.
100%.
Like we all ourselves, or we know the next person that maybe has been born with a disability or hasn't had an accident or has gone sick. And everyone's like, oh, now I get it. So before we even get to that point, just knowing that accessibility means everybody, in the terms even the next person beside me, is able to have fun in life
Yeah.
and to do that. And I think that's something that I just like embody, like that joy and fun. That person can go to that concert and not think twice about their seat, to get on that
Hmm.
airplane and to go to wherever they want. There's the realities of what that looks like. As a society, let's just continue, and me too, right? Like continue learning, continue to be
Hmm.
open, and always ask, is this accessible? Right? So even with
Yeah.
my daisies and what is accessible for like our club hangs for the daisy community is not accessible for the next person, right? So it's such a spectrum. A ramp might work for one person, but the next person needs a push button.
Hmm.
So just always trying to keep that question in the back of your back pocket when you're creating, when you're producing things, when you're like creating a community, like housing, things like that,
Yeah.
to keep that in mind. Playgrounds, like all of it. Just have somebody with lived experience come in and tell you what's up and
Yeah.
pay them. So I came
Yes.
across, there was a lot of that. I went to Toronto Tech Week and that's what they were saying. I was like, and it's like, it's true. So that's like, just to circle back with the Daisy community, talking to them about their needs and what they're hoping for and how they want support. And we just have to ask each other, and stop assuming, and stop turning a blind eye, because we just literally need to ask and not assume.
We need more people like you. We need more people
They're
to
out
be
there.
like legit. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your like
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
it.
No, it's and it doesn't take much. Learning. Just be open to it and
I love that.
hire people.
Part of the premise of this podcast is
Yeah.
I love to talk to people about like these like what the moments in our careers. We all have them. Every one of us as an entrepreneur, creative, we always go through these moments where we're like, what am I doing? Like what's happening? Just because, like we said earlier, we don't know what we're doing. We're all kind of figuring it out on our own. So was there ever like a what the moment along your path where like something that like changed or challenged or reshaped how you see yourself or your work?
I feel like it's like every day. Like, what? it's every day because we're working from home. Like
Mm,
the Daisy Club is literally like right where I'm at. I have my chair, the camera's in front of me, and I'm doing the thing
hmm.
in my bedroom. And the kids are on the other side,
Yeah.
or it's for me, I think the what the right now is having to figure out how to manage all of that, of
Hmm.
when to not respond to the emails when you're at home, but you're at home, so that's where you're working. And it just this spiral,
Hmm.
and where am I really putting all of that energy? But a true what the moment that really ties in with that was I went to the reunion dance party as one of our club hangs, and it's all female, alcohol free dance party. It was a daytime dance party too, and it was so awesome, and we had an amazing time, and myself and one other Daisy ended up staying till the end, which was 8:30 p.m. Like, it was great.
I love the day
Right,
parties.
it's
They're my
such a good
favorite.
time. Got to bed by 10. It was amazing.
Yes.
They did an opening circle, and then we danced our butts off, and then they did a closing circle, and they had a Hannah, and she is a somatic coach, and she walked us through a meditation, and I just got, we're all sitting on the floor and just got so deep into it, and it was this aha moment of all this like dualities that have been going on. I was like, okay, we talked about it, like mom, fitness instructor, Daisy Club founder, all these things. Oh my God, they all can be, and I could live all of it. And this part of Darlene, of this like the dancing. I was in this like cool outfit that my brother sent me from Colombia, and I'm like,
Oh,
I can be this with the daisies and feel my true self and do all the other things too. And I don't have to, not that I was hiding it, but not that I was showcasing it as much as I feel
yeah.
like I should and continue to do, because it is me, and I'm not trying to, like, this is what you get, and
Yeah.
if you want to, yeah, if you want to be part of the Daisy Club.
I love to hear that. I genuinely feel, as much as there's this, last ditch effort to control people, like that's happening right now in the world. I also feel simultaneously, which is I think the reason for it is that there is this movement where more and more people that I'm speaking to are really owning who they are in really authentic ways, and not just like bullshit, like, talk, speak,
Not the
whatever.
authentic talk, all everything authenticity. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
like they're actually doing it, and
Yeah.
to me, I'm like, I love to hear this, because it's so funny, because at the beginning of the year, I said to myself, like, my goal for 2025 was I really want to live in alignment, whether it comes to my personal life, my professional life, like who I work with, the things I'm doing. Like, I want to go for stuff that like is, in my heart, that I want to create.
Love that.
And it seems to be attracting so much of that energy to me, just based on me putting it out there. And I'd
Yeah.
love to hear that there are other people who are like, you know what, like it's time for me to just like be me no matter what. And I love to hear it, especially in a venture that is basically helping people to authentically be themselves as well.
Yes, that's exactly it. The thing is too, with I've known them for so long. I have this relationship with them and their family. So now that I'm venturing and adding more to the garden, somebody has to get to know me, and I have to get to know them. And it's been very exciting, because it's like, oh, this is brand new, because
Hmm.
the other daisies know me. We've been blooming throughout the years, but now these other daisies that are coming in, it's like, this is me, and I get excited. I get excited
Yeah.
to like meet new people and see what's driving them to movement, and why they're showing up. Why do they reach out to me, and things like that. And I'm here for it. I'm here to just, and I feel like that's the thing. Once we opened up, just like what you said, for 2025, then like the good things are like, oh,
Come through.
okay, yeah, yeah, and it's been happening. Here we are, right? This is
I love it. I
yeah.
honestly love it. And even just what you created, the name, the members, and how you've named them, even the terminology around blooming, like you're creating a very solid
Thank you.
brand.
Ah,
Like,
thank you.
you like, genuinely, like,
Gio,
hearing it, like,
I
you
don't know what I'm doing.
but you don't know what you're doing, but you know exactly what you're doing because it's what feels right, and so
Yes.
that's what you're bringing forward, and you're like, "This just makes sense." Kudos is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. No, it's true, and it's once these little moments, I even with like when I got the earrings at a reunion,
Mhm.
um, and the owner, her name's Cass, Slow Day Studio. She's like, I have other colors. I'm like, no, this is the Daisy Club. This
Yeah,
purple is the
yeah.
Daisy Club color. So I was just like, no, this is what. And she's like, oh, okay, great.
Mm.
Like, so it's been a lot of fun.
Where do you see the Daisy Club going? Like, what's your vision or your dream for the next few years? Like, where this is gonna go?
Literally, I want my own garden of daisies in my backyard and more daisies in the club for sure. I want to be able to have a solid big group of 20 plus women, just like picking in the brain, right? Like we're here, it's time to take over the world. Like,
Yes.
and just like showing up at events, doing the things, partnerships, collaborations, because I've figured, I'm like, oh my goodness, I've been working in a system for so long and having coworkers that I could just turn to. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing this on my own now. Like, who am I turning to? So I think in terms
Mhm.
of those like sponsorships and collaborations is like huge. And I've figured that out. And I love
Yeah.
it. I love meeting new people and whatnot to make this grow. But just really, yeah, the growth, because I want everyone to feel joy, do the cool shit, move your bodies, right?
Yeah.
All the things that I feel like I've learned at the tender age of 37, what brings me joy, and to, yeah, other people to join along with us on this journey.
I'm so happy that you came to chat with me. Honestly, it
That
means so
same.
much.
Thank you for having me. It talking about it makes it just like that much more real, and really just putting, yeah, adaptive fitness and accessibility on the map and get everyone thinking a little bit outside the box.
I love it. So I ask every one of my guests, what is the most on brand thing about you?
Aside from the daisy earrings I'm wearing right now, okay, I would say honestly the fact that every body can move. I'm a huge advocate for just movement in general, whatever that looks like in terms of dance, fitness, but every body can. So let's not limit ourselves. Let's throw away those limiting, perceived limiting limitations,
Mhm.
and let's take over the world.
I love it. Honestly, very inspiring. I'm so happy that you are feeling very much in alignment with where you're at and you're passionate about something because, it's very difficult in these days to feel passion and drive. I feel like there's a lot of things that are meant to stop us from, like going for it.
Absolutely.
And I just love to hear it. It's really energizing for me. So I thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Gio.
So, if anyone listening wants to connect with you, inquire about the Daisy Club, get to know you,
Yeah.
become a member, become a Daisy, like how can they reach out to you?
I love that. Yeah, definitely on Instagram. It's _Daisy Club. You can slide into my DMs and follow along if you want to see some fun, uplifting dance choreo. You might know somebody, right? It's always one of those
Mhm,
things that you might know somebody that might be a good fit to become a Daisy.
mhm.
And yeah, thedaisyclub.com.
And if you'd like to connect with me, you can reach out to me through my website, geographic.com. Follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm on iHeartRadio, TikTok. I'm back up on TikTok, Instagram, etc. Leave a comment or review, subscribe. It would help me with the algorithm. Thank you again, Darlene. I appreciate your time so much. And I can't wait to see where the Daisy Club goes.
Thanks, Gio.
Okay, bye.
Bye.